share here. So, Caden, what we're about to do just for a few seconds is I'm going to ask, I'm just muting everyone. That's also going to help your connection out, Mr. Caden. I'm asking Benjamin to share one of his or two of his animated short movies he made in Scratch. And that'll give you, Caden, an idea of what we've been playing with and what we're doing today. All right. So Benjamin, you can share your Scratch with all of us now, and you can choose whether you want to do your skateboard video with us quickly or something else. So this is Benjamin now, everyone.
I'll first show you this one.
Yeah, go for it. Make it big and show us your skateboard video you made. Now that is super cool. That is super cool. That is really good. Thank you. Bash. Whoa, okay. Now that is...
it stands for something.
All right, so, Benjamin, I bet you that's what the B stands for.
Yeah, you corrected that one.
Right, so that was a little animated video that that Benjamin made, Caden. No,
hey,
don't go on the screen, please.
Don't do that again, please.
Again.
Which other one must I show? Must I show?
You choose. You choose. Which other one do you want to show, Caden?
I don't know. I got so many.
Just choose any one, bud. Maybe your beatboxing one, or how about your yo-yo one?
Okay, that yo-yo joke.
Yeah, the one where the guy keeps hitting himself with the yo-yo. All right, so this is another animation Benjamin made. And this one's a little different because it's got a little bit of programming in it too, a bit more than the other one.
Yeah, the other one is just switching the costumes. This one is like...
That's right.
Also,
approximately 10 hours later.
so yeah,
right, now, that was not only had a bit of coding in it, but that also had some nice cheesy sound effects that Benjamin recorded himself. They're using his own voice. So that is what we're doing. And for Oliver and for Caden, who haven't joined us in a while, and for Blake, maybe who needs a little bit of a refresher, for you three boys, I'm going to very, 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 very quickly take you three boys through playing with animations. Just get you going with some real easy peasy basics to help refresh your memories. And then I'll give you time to play a bit more with it on your own time. Okay. So Benjamin, I need you to stop sharing there. And guys, I'm going to share now. And like I said, if you need to say something, unmute yourself to speak to me, because I am muting you now.
Mr. Shaw?
Yeah.
So with the animation, so are we gonna make a new animation? Because like
that's what I would like. But what we're gonna start with, and this is more for you, Caden and Oliver, who aren't always here, we're gonna just start with something very, very simple. We're gonna start with a fresh page, empty page, and we're gonna do a very easy peasy stickman animation just to get you back into the basics, and then you can take it further and get fancy. But for today, just the basics.
Can we name it like ourselves? Like, can we put in our own title?
You'll kind of follow what I do with you today. You'll kind of follow what I'm doing. But then from tomorrow onwards, if you decide to rejoin us, and I'd love if you do join us again, then you've got more freedom. Now you know the tricks. Now we can all work together doing our own crazy stuff and share our things as we work on them.
Okay.
But today is refreshing your memory, Caden's, and Oliver's on how to do animations. A quick intro, refresher. So I'm going to share my screen.
Mr. Shaw?
Yo.
Can I show?
I know you
Caden
want to.
One of my...
Not right now, buddy. Not right now.
Yeah.
Why don't you show us tomorrow? Let me have my time today to just get through the lesson. Okay.
Yeah.
So Caden and Blake and Oliver, for you three, this is mostly for you three. All I need from you is to be on a fresh, empty screen for Scratch, ready to create something new. So that's step one. Get onto Scratch and go create, that you get an empty page. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
I'm going to share my screen with you in case you forget how to do anything. There we go. Now you can see my screen as well. So what we're going to do, boys, and like I said, this is more for you three. I'm going to let Benjamin and Callum work on their own animations while we do this, because they've been with me most days. So they've worked through this already a few times. So I'm going to let them work on their own thing. All right. For you three boys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this cat. So we go to the dustbin picture here and we click the dustbin. We get rid of that cat so that there are no sprites anymore. If you're not sure how I did that, remember down here where my mouse is, you'll see the picture of the cat. And you just click the dustbin picture. Unfortunately, oh no, there we go. Now remember to type something or say something to me if you are stuck or you need me to slow down. All right.
Mr. Short, but we need to add a character. Are we gonna make
No,
a
we're going to
character?
do that.
Or...
But because
Okay.
today is more just about reminding you how to do things, we're not going to get fancy with our characters. We're going to work with painting in a moment. Very basic stick man. That's all I'm going to ask you to do.
No, I'm saying like, because like we need a character to do the motions. Because if
That's
we
what
don't
I'm
have
saying
the
too, is
motions-
that we need a character, but because the
Okay.
most important thing for today is for us just to be reminded how to do animations. We're not going to make a fancy character. Our character we're going to paint in a moment is going to be a stick man. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I asked you to delete Scratch the cat. We can't use him. We want our own character. But we don't want a fancy character that's going to take us too long to paint. And then we've got no time for the how. So what we do now, boys, is if you follow my mouse on my screen, I'm going to go down here to the picture of the kitty cat, and I'm going to click on the paintbrush. All right, so you don't click on the cat. You just move your mouse over the cat. This blue menu will appear, and then we click on the paintbrush. And when we click on that paintbrush, well, now we're in this mode where we can now paint a sprite. And if you look at my screen, look what I paint. I'm going to do something really simple. I'm going to click on the paintbrush. I'm going to do a little head. I'm going to do a little body. And there is Mr. Short's terrible stick man. That's all I need from you guys. You must paint your own terrible stick man. And the reason we're doing stick men today, I'll say it again in case you're wondering, it's so that we don't take too long, which means we can get to the stuff like how to make an animation. Tomorrow, if you guys rejoin my Scratch session, then I'll give you a chance to get fancy. Okay. So all I want from you guys is give me a thumbs up or say, hey, Mr. Short, I'm done when you've painted your first stick man. And if you make a mistake, don't forget, you can just click on the undo button right over here. Just click that back arrow and that will take away the last thing you just did.
Good.
Cool, Blake says he's done, so I'm just waiting for Caden and for Oliver. And don't forget, Caden and Oliver, to tell me if you're stuck and tell me when you're done. Okay.
I'm done, Mr. Shorts.
Okay, Oliver's done. We're just giving Caden a moment. We don't want to rush him because he hasn't joined our Scratch at all before. This is very new to him. And Caden, I'm going to ask you if it's all right to unmute you so you can unmute yourself, because otherwise I can't hear you, buddy, when you say you're done. You might be done and I haven't heard you.
I'm not yet done.
Cool, cool. You just let us know when, buddy. And remember, Caden, it doesn't have to be fancy. Hey, in fact, I don't want it to be too fancy. Otherwise, otherwise we paint for too long and we don't get to the costume part where we change costumes and create animations.
Mr. Shaw, do you want us to make more than one character?
For now, I was just thinking, just for the speed factor and getting it done quick, we would just do one quick stick figure and maybe make him wave some legs around or arms around, something like that.
I'm done. I'm done.
Caden, is that you saying you're done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Excellent.
good.
Okay. So eyes back on Mr. Short's screen. I'm going to show you the next step. So this part's pretty easy, and this is to help save us time, because you can imagine, boys, if you had a very fancy sprite that took you a whole hour to paint, you don't want to have to paint the whole thing over every single time. So there's a trick to help speed things up, and we call it duplicating. It's like copying. We're going to duplicate your costume. So if you look at my screen, watch how I do it. I take my mouse and I put it over this little square here, this little preview of my costume, and I right click. I get a very small menu. It gives me only two options, duplicate and export. I'm going to click duplicate. And if I do that, now I've got two. You'll see I've got two, and they're exactly the same. So I'm going to give you 20 seconds or more if you need it. But step one, duplicate your costume quickly. And then just say, Mr. Short, I'm done, so that I know.
Done.
Okay, Blake says he's done.
I'm also done.
If you need me to show you again how I did that, remember to ask me as well. Hey, and I'm happy to do that. So we're just waiting for Caden and Oliver.
I'm done.
Okay, so Oliver, when you're done, you just let us know. And if you get stuck, Oliver, let me know and I'll show you again how I did it. Hey, Oliver's left our group, guys. Oh no. Okay, so it's just Caden and Blake at the moment who are following me. In that case, I'm going to continue. I'm not sure why Oliver left us. He did leave twice already. I think he's also having a bad connection day. I hope it's not the school connection. We've actually got a pretty good line here. The school's got a 20 meg or a 10 meg fiber optic line. So it shouldn't be dropping you guys like this. Anyway, so Caden and Blake, you're both done. Now watch what I do. You'll notice both costumes are the same, but obviously we want the next costume to be slightly different because that's an animation, right? So what I do is I take my rubber button, that's the one right next to the paintbrush, the rubber, and I'm going to rub something out, maybe a leg, maybe an arm. I'll rub out this long arm here like this, and then I go back to the paintbrush and I change the arm. Now maybe the arm is higher in the air. It's almost like playing with that game Sticks. So now I've made his arm go way up in the air, which means the new costume is slightly different now to the first costume. There's my first costume. There's my new one now. What did I do on the new one? I rubbed out one of the arms. Then I went back to the paintbrush and I made it higher. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Change anything you want about your stick man. It could be a leg, head, arm. You do something quickly to your stick man.
What happens if we're already done?
Then you just tell me you're done.
Yeah.
Cool. So then it's just Mr. Caden.